Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to talk about this spiritual flight. And in this context, I would like to recite one of the verses of Allama Iqbal, "Aita hai lahuti, us riz se maut achhi, jis riz se aati ho parwaaz mein kota hai." So by Tair is meant bird, and spiritual bird refers to the human soul. So Lama Iqbal is advising us that we should look after our spiritual side and we should not neglect it, and that we should not become so much engrossed in our worldly life that we fail to pay due heed to it. Now, in the Bible, it is given, man shall not live by bread alone, by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. That is, man is in dire need of spiritual nutrition because, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God, this means what God has conveyed to us through the Bible, through the holy books, through the divine books, and the Quran. And here we must remember that Hazrat Ali stated that there are six states of the body and soul. The body is alive or dead. It is asleep or awake. It is healthy or sick. So these are the six states of the body. And correspondingly, we also have six spiritual states. The spirit is alive if it is knowledgeable. It is dead if it is ignorant. यानी इल्म है तो रूह जिंदा है और अगर जाहिल है तो रूह मुर्दा है. It is mindful or forgetful. Mindful means it is aware of the purpose of its existence on this planet Earth. Does it know why it has come here, or has it forgotten the mission statement of its life? यानी या तो इंसान गाफिल है या उसको एहसास है कि वो किस मकसद के लिए इस दुनिया में आए. Then does he possess certainty of faith, यानी यकीन कामिल है, और state of doubt, या वो शक में ही उलझा रहता है सारा वक्त. So these are six states of the soul which correspond to the six states of the body. The body is healthy or sick, and if one has conviction or strong faith, then one is healthy, one's soul is healthy. And if one soul is sick, then it is always in a doubt, in a doubting posture. It is always doubting the existence of God and dilly-dallying between one extreme or the other. So next is the rose garden. This rose garden is the love of God externalized, expressed in the form of red roses and perfumed boughs. And here is a few lines from T.S. Eliot. He says, "Down the passage which we did not take, towards the door we never opened, into the rose garden." What he's trying to suggest to us is that we never looked at the spiritual side of our lives and we neglected this and we did not cultivate the love of God. And if we do not cultivate the love of God, then there is barrenness of the soul. And here he is referring to the rose garden is the garden which is promised to the one who loves God. And here T.S. Eliot is referring to the book written by Sadi Shirazi, Gulistan-e-Sadi, the rose garden. The Gulistan-e-Sadi is rose garden. So self-love is the greatest barrier which has to be crossed if one has to cultivate love for God or love of God. And the journey begins from self-centeredness to God-centeredness. And if one is not able to achieve this in this life, then he will have to face the trials and tribulations in purgatory, where he will be subjected to certain torments and where he may have to undergo the purification process. So it is better to purify oneself in this world. And the fire in the rose is red. Now, to explain this, I move on to the next slide where it is given, Ya narukuni vardam wa salam ala Ibrahim. Allah said, O fire, be coolness and safety upon Abraham. That is, Abraham had love of God in his heart, and when he was thrown into the fire which was ignited and which was set ablaze by the Pharaoh of that time, he was ready to go into that fire because he had the love of God in his heart. And God ordered the fire to cool and become a garden of roses. So, Ya Narukuni Bardam wa Salamun ala Ibrahim. Thank you very much. Jazakallah.